Hello and welcome to St. Anthony's Parish in Warwick, Bermuda. Happy 60th anniversary of ordination to priesthood, Father John. I thought what better place to come in Bermuda to wish you well on this special anniversary than St. Anthony's Church, where you spent so many years serving the people of God. And I'm very happy to accompany you, at least in video this evening, since I can't be with you. The first time that I met Father John was when I went to St. Francis as a newly ordained priest to work with him. And there were 2 great years together with Father John and also with Father Harry Reitzel. I learned more about pastoral ministry and what it means to be a priest sitting in Father John's office in the evening than I did sitting in a desk at St. Peter's Seminary.
Father John Miles and myself have been friends for 47 years, and I suspect that many of you watching this video have also experienced his high energy, sometimes high volume, and his outgoing and gregarious manner. More importantly, I have experienced him as a real community man for our congregation, meaning he's conscientiously responded to many and varied assignments which you witnessed at the beginning of this video. I'm also aware of his deep down desire to love and serve the Lord, which showed itself in his various ministries, especially his ministry of compassion, forgiveness, and reconciliation. And this is especially noted by the parishioners of St. Margaret Mary, which he is now serving in Louisville. They mention this part especially about his confession and going to confession. And Father Sam, in a recent visitation, provincial visitation, said that the people truly love him at Margaret Mary.
One of Father John's great loves, of course, is preaching. He, for 18 years, raised millions of dollars for Jamaica and Haiti with food for the poor. Again, he did a significant job in the United States, serving in over 500 parishes every weekend except Christmas or Easter, going out to preach. And Father John had a way in his preaching of not only convincing people, but calling people forth to commit. I remember at St. Francis when the Vietnamese boat people began to appear on our horizon. One day Father John said, I want all of the people who are interested in participating and contributing and supporting these people to stand. Of course, the whole congregation stood. Father John always had that power to move people's hearts, to influence people's lives, and he did that in parishes as he did with Food for the Poor. Father John definitely shown to others the richness of the Word of God and how it reaches our heart, how it really should transform our lives.
The poor, there were many accolades, and I will briefly quote only 2 of them. The latter one from the director of Food for the Poor. So the first accolade was this one, that John has retired from his ministry with Food for the Poor after 18 years of helping to raise awareness of the plight of the poor and oppressed in the Caribbean. In the years that John spent preaching in parishes throughout the United States, he logged hundreds of thousands of miles, flying to various cities, and it was a tiring ministry with constant traveling, waiting in airports, living out of a suitcase for several days each week, and so on. But John often expressed what a rewarding apostolate it was for him, and what a privilege he felt working for and with the poor in the Caribbean. And now the final comment from the food director of Food for the Poor at the time of his retirement, at the time of John's retirement. John began his ministry of preaching in 1988, and since then has been one of the most outstanding speakers that Food for the Poor has ever had. He received an award in 1999 for generating over $8 million in donations from parishes in which he spoke. At that time, he had preached in more than 500 parishes through the United States, and he had spoken in many more parishes since that time. the number is now close to 550. He will be greatly missed by Food for the Poor, both for his commitment to the poor and marginalized and for his passionate and inspired preaching. So I conclude with Father John's final remarks he made 10 years ago to the people at the celebration then, and I think his remarks are just as true today as they were 10 years ago. And besides, John likes to have the last word, so here it is. In spite of the many ups and downs and struggles over the past years of active ministry, I have been happy and fulfilled in my priesthood. I thank the Lord for calling me to serve as a resurrectionist, and I ask for the strength needed to be faithful to the end. We resurrectionists also thank the Lord for you, John, for calling you to be one of us in the Ontario, Kentucky province of the Congregation of the Resurrection.